Hello, everyone. This is your midweek message for March 1st. I'm Pastor Aaron Holmgren at Salem Lutheran Church. And being March 1st, this is the first day of the month and our first Lenten worship day on a Wednesday. So we have our Lenten worship in the morning at 11 o'clock with a lunch following. Then we have a Lenten supper at 5:15 and a service to follow at 7, and that will be Holden Evening Prayer. And following worship, we're actually keeping the sanctuary open for a little bit of time for personal prayer, for silent reflection. If you want to utilize the pews or the kneelers or just the sanctuary space in general, that it will be open to you till about 8:30. And we'll be trying to offer that every Wednesday night following worship. And it's open for anyone. So if you're catching this and you aren't able to make it to the worship, but you want to utilize a time of prayer in the sanctuary, you can consider that time as well. We have a couple other things happening in the month of March. We're lifting up our first mission of the month, which will be Project Home. So be paying attention to the ways in which that ministry is lifted up throughout the month and the ways in which we can give as a congregation. We also have Minnesota Food Share Month. So throughout all of March, you can collect food needed, and there are going to be bags supplied in the narthex or the sanctuary if you want to donate individual items for that, or you can also donate monetarily as well. Flowers for our Easter garden is due by March 3rd. So if you have an order for flowers for the sanctuary for Easter, get that order in now. That deadline's coming up fast. I think that's it as far as the announcements that I have written down. If there's anything I'm missing, it's always in the weekly announcements that's kept up to date on the website or in the email where you're receiving this video. So what I wanted to talk about today is our Lenten theme. Since tonight is the first night, or today is the first day that we are exploring this theme together throughout the season of Lent, I wanted to lift it up to you. And our theme this year is how can we keep from singing? This line comes from an old hymn, My Life Flows On, an Endless Song. And the line is, how can I keep from singing? But as a congregation, we're reflecting on how we as a body of faith sing our faith so often in our Kyries, our Glorias, and our hymns. And so every Wednesday night this month, we are having an individual of the congregation talk about the ways in which singing has impacted their faith, or the ways in which a specific song has spoken to them in their faith. And so they'll be lifting up a favorite song within their reflection. And then we as a congregation will join them in that song following their testimony. So I'm really looking forward to hearing 5 individual stories of faith alongside singing these beautiful hymns that mean so much to so many of us. And for the Wednesday morning Matin service, we're going to continue this theme. We're going to look at singing favorite hymns of faith, utilizing a bit of the material that Augsburg Fortress put out for this year called Singing with the Saints. You got to love when the same theme seems to come up in different places, but Singing with the Saints highlights the ways in which we inherit hymns written by hymn writers and theologians and poets throughout the centuries. And so we'll kind of look at those who have written our hymns, as well as reflect on our favorite hymns in that service as well. So we're going to be lifting up that theme in both the morning and the evening service, just in slightly different ways. And they are 2 entirely different services. So if for some reason you want to come to both, by all means, the more the merrier for that. The morning worship service will be in the fellowship hall the fireside room, a more intimate space for probably a smaller group, but the fireside room for the morning service, the sanctuary for the evening. Um, so my favorite hymn, because I will not be speaking for these 5 evenings, but one of the things that inspired me to do this series is um, my favorite hymn has always been "O Come Emmanuel," and I love that hymn because it is so deeply ingrained in my memory of faith. It is one of the most frequently sung hymns. In fact, it might be the most sung hymn outside of church in a family setting that I know of. Because in Advent, those 4 weeks of Advent, on a Sunday night after church, we would sit down for dinner. We'd have the Advent wreath in the middle of the table. We'd say a prayer. We'd read a little bit of scripture, and then we'd light the candle. And we'd turn off the lights. We'd light the candles for that week. So 1, 2, 3, up to 4 candles. We'd light them, and then we'd sing the first verse of O Come Emmanuel. And so that song has always been an essential part of my faith journey, how I think of faith as something that is shared within a family, how I think of faith as something that is longed for in our invitation that God with us, Emmanuel, comes to us in times of need, in times of exile, but how our faith is also a time to rejoice. I think that song carries just a perfect balance of lament and rejoice, which is kind of um, that attitude that we come to Advent in. So that is my favorite hymn. I have many more that has grown on me over the years that perhaps we'll talk about in either the morning worship on Wednesdays or in another setting throughout this Lent together. I hope that throughout this season, you can reflect on the hymns that mean a lot to you, why they mean that, and you're willing to share it with a friend and with the congregation in some way. So, looking forward to hearing about all these stories of hymns and the impact of singing in our faith. And until next time, blessings on your day.